Okay, so getting settled in here, just a reminder, we're just pedaling easy right now. So keep it at that 3 out of 10-ish. If you've been on the bike a little bit already, then a little bit harder is fine, but just trying to gently bring it into your legs. We're just gonna do about 20 minutes before the whole workout proper starts. And this is our final section of the series for the Tour de Vic course, but basic elements, fundamentals that you can keep working on for all your riding development. So super relevant. Can everybody just make sure that they are muted? I just heard someone there. And if you have two systems, you want to mute both of them, okay? Because that, all this Wi-Fi noise and stuff just keeps that to a minimum. So I had a nice little interaction the other day. A lady came up to me, waited for me outside the grocery store and thanked me for the videos and stuff. And just, you know, sometimes you feel like saying something to people about maybe what you get for them in coaching and training, and it's really rewarding to get a few nice words, and especially doing some of this virtual stuff where we feel a bit lonely, right? So love to see everyone in their squares, and love to hear when you feel like you're getting something out of it, because it's funny, without that personal interaction you lose that a little bit, right? So it was nice. Anyway, so today the final section, and I lived in Victoria on Vancouver Island for a couple of years before my second Olympic Games, because we kind of had the cycling center there, lots of great riding, beautiful place to road ride. Those of you who've been there all know that. And this is one of the classics. I would say 50% of the rides you end up finishing on the waterfront. So as a local, you get very in tune with what's upcoming. And it's easy to get distracted by the incredible views as you come out around the water. But there are a few things, and besides just the terrain, the wind is quite often a factor. Hits you really hard. And just as a point of reference, at a Tour de Victoria some years ago, when it was a really windy, rainy, it was a crazy day for weather. And this part of the course, if you know the area, you can, you know, stay on the course, ride kind of the loop around that comes around and back into the city. But there's also a straight shot back to the hotels. You know your way around, and I just remember, because it's only about 10K to go, I just remember my hands are frozen solid, it's windy, it was a hard day, and I was like, you know, I could just go straight, and that'd be, you know, nice end to the day. But funnily enough, because I was already coaching and doing tag, I felt entirely responsible to all the people that I'd been riding with for, you know, that year and a couple years before. And I was like, no, that is not what I teach people to do. So miserable as it may be, we're gonna get around this last waterfront, punchy climbs with legs like wood from riding in the rain and the cold for 3 hours. So that's my takeaway from one of the hard years there. But usually super nice weather, and just the wind we have to think about. So let's just bring the gear up now. All of you riding various systems, we're gonna bring it up to group riding, kind of just base aerobic effort, just for a little bit. We're gonna just settle into that. I quite often think of this for myself, and I say it to the riders I'm coaching. In the beginning, when your legs feel a little bit woody, like you're pedaling squares. We always talk about pedaling squares. You have to get the circles back. So when they feel like that, there's just, you just need to kind of bring that effort in. The muscles just complain a little bit. Give them a little talking to and settle into the new gear. So we're gonna go 5 out of 10, 50% if you know your wattage. Just for another little piece here. And just think about relaxing, relax shoulders. Someone asked me the other day after one of the sessions what I meant when I said, keep your core engaged. We fall into some of this lingo and we forget. Might not be second nature to everybody, but basically the thought, and one of the most visual illustrations to me came from one of our other coaches when she said, yeah, you know, I sit on my bike and I just always remember someone might come and punch me in the stomach. I'm just tensing just enough so that if someone comes and gives me a little whack, then I'm stable. And although that sounds extreme, it is the idea of being really solid, centered on your bike, and able to withstand, really importantly, able to withstand things that sometimes do come at you. So we're working on that. We're gonna do a little acceleration, and then we're gonna bring it up to our 6 out of 10 using gear. So first of all, the acceleration, you're at 90 to 100 cadence. Sorry, I didn't really refer to that, but made the assumption a little bit. We're at preferred cadence, 90 to 100. You're gonna increase your cadence first by 5, then by 10, in 2, 1, up, squeezing into the pedals, 5 RPM. For me, that's up to 100, just tipping over, 25 pedal strokes every 15 seconds if you're needing a reference point. Hold on to it right here. Another 10 seconds. Keep your breathing regulated, measured, and we're gonna bring it up again. 5 RPM more. Squeeze into the pedals. Up. When we're doing all these things, I want to see you remaining quiet on the bike. Good job. Awesome to watch Howard there. Looking solid as a rock. Okay. Holding on to it right here. 2, 1, back to your preferred cadence, letting the effort come down. That was just a little blip, bringing it up. As soon as you're at that preferred cadence, let's just bring the gear up. 60% now. So still putting words together. Maybe a little catch in the voice. Good, settle into that gear. Good, another whole 30, 40 seconds before we make any changes. If you have that tight feeling in your legs from bringing a bit more gear in, just remind yourself, breathe, relax, bring it down. Focus on the circles, they'll come back. It's even worse when you're at triangles to start out with, right? Okay, we're gonna increase the cadence. Same as before, 5 RPM, 2, 1, up. Nice and calm. Don't sweat the actual 5 RPM number. It's a tiny little increase. Learning to just flutter on the pedals and have those nice changes up and down in power. All right, another one. 5 RPM, up, up, 30 seconds. Good job, you guys. Shoulders down, in control. 5 seconds. 3, 2, back to preferred cadence. I'm gonna have you bring the gear off for 1 minute. This is where I find, when you're warming up especially, the legs have gotten tight, quite often relatively low amount of output, tendency to go, huh, what's going on? And I just back it off, give your muscles a little bit to adjust, and then we'll bring it up again. Our last increase, I'm gonna have you bring it up to that 70% in, around, or just below your hour power feeling. Might take you a few seconds to get there. Remember, this is a level you use a lot, especially when you're in a hard group ride or out on a mass ride. You dance around it, up and down. And this is a number that we're really wanting to usefully increase as a number, decrease the perceived effort at this number, increase the amount of time we can do it. All right, 7 out of 10. Bring up that gear, holding onto that cadence, nice and centered on the bike. 2, 1, if you're not there. Remember the cue for this, all being normal, is you start to have a little bit more trouble putting the words together, for sure. You're answering maybe in short sound bites. You're still working with oxygen for quite a while still. Hold on to it right here. We're going to increase the cadence again. 5 RPM, then 10. So it'll be quite a big workload number just at the end. Those of you on your regular bikes, and use your gears. All the other bikes, we're going to use our mechanisms to increase resistance and gear. Smart trainers, you're going to have to make those adjustments as your cadence comes up. All right, 5 RPM. 2, 1, up, up. Hold on to it. Big workload now. Nudging up 75%-ish. And one more increase to 10 RPM over your preferred cadence. Up, up. Come on, guys. Back it off. Good, recover, recover. And do one more thing. So lots of us have different level of comfort with standing. I said many times to those of you I've ridden with a long time, probably my most useful technique that I use on shorter poppy rollers is standing and getting on top of the pedals, quite often when you're bogging down. And one of the things that we don't want to rely on is increasing our gear to be able to stand. Because although you will do that sometimes, we don't want to feel like we're on a Stairmaster. We're not just relying on punching down. We're still pulling around the pedal stroke. And being able to go up, you know, a hill that's only sort of minute and a half, you feel like you're bogging down in your gear, and you can just stand and get the cadence up again, change the muscle groups you're using. Super valuable. So play around with it. Might not end up being your go-to, but there just might be a time you're going to use it. So we're going to bring that gear up again and do a quick little up-down, standing to seated, thinking of those fundamentals when we're outdoors, riding for real, and that is the taking our bike with us, not throwing it back, not losing real estate, all of that. Okay, so anywhere between 60 and 70%, not too much gear. 60 I would prefer. If you need a bit more, that's okay. Find that gear. All right, we're gonna bring it up first for 15 seconds. Quick little up, down. More working on transition than anything. 2, 1, up, up. Centered over the saddle, not bringing our chest way up. Dancing on those pedals. Can take it back down. 2, 1. Quick little reprieve. And again, this time for 30. Up, up. Dropping your heel a little bit. Let your ankles move. Pulling into the back of the circle. Another 10. Come on, Grace. Give it a try. 3, 2, back down. Hey, I'm with you, it's hard. Howard's doing a good job there though. You have to really watch the transition when you're on rollers. There's an instant that you can just fly off them. Okay, another 1, 2, 1, up, up. Relax the elbows, really centered over that bike, eyes up. Awesome job, everyone. Give me another 10 seconds. Looking really good. Dancing on those pedals, not for real, but activated. 2, 1, back down. Another shorter one coming up. Two, 1, up, up. Awesome. Relax the shoulders. Ride it like you mean it. Nice to see Marilee in there. Hey. 5 seconds. 2, 1, back down. And you know those times you just sit down for a second, back up, bring it back up. Little quick one. So make all those squats worth it. Awesome job. A little bit more. 5, 2, 1. Back down. Turn the pedals over. And we're going to go back to recovery. Coming up in 5, 2, and 1. Back the gear off. Easy, easy. Got how this studio at Whistler is a little bit, it's funny, it's so cold when you come in, but it's a little humid. Okay, so I was mentioning Grace there, one of our coaches, who's on her rollers as well, I just noticed. So that's pretty awesome. And those of you who haven't tried rollers, they're pretty tricky to ride, but they really, really, really improve your ability to keep the bike steady, fluid. You very quickly see that in the beginning, you might hear this punchy noise. It shows you your pedal stroke when you're punching down on the front, but very hard to stand. So good for you guys. And I'm sure the single leg, we won't do any single leg, but that's another thing I'm gonna try and learn. Okay, Tour de Victoria. We know now it's a little bit off in the distance. One thing that I have been talking about with people this week is creating some goal rides, and we can talk about that more, but things that just give you a little bit of a diversion to think about for your training. But all of this is well worth it. It's really great to see everybody keeping motivated. And so this morning, we are going to do morning here on the West Coast, Whistler. This session, we're going to do a little bit of work around that. The last part of the course, you're doing a lot of short, punchy climbs still, fatigued legs. We're going to get to the point of view section at the very end. So we're doing a bit of a workout up to that. The first part is a simulation of going into a short sort of punchy hill, bringing up the cadence, and then standing to get on top of it, and backing off to about 60%, which is our recovery. Not much recovery, right? Going through that 3 times. I'll cue you. The main thing you need to know in the beginning is we're starting at a climbing cadence of 80, and you're at an effort level of 75-ish%, or you're 7 to 8 out of 10. So pretty hard. Bringing that up using cadence for a minute afterwards, standing, getting on top of it, and then coming back down and recovering seated. Rotation through that 3 times. So that's challenging. The part after that I'll describe when we're recovering before it, but it starts to simulate our run into the final waterfront. Lots of sort of drags, lots of where the road is not a hill, but it's a drag. We're in the wind, in and out of the wind. So we'll do a little piece of that, and then right into our final, everybody's got the jitters going into the last little bit. And Lesley was thinking about going straight and going home that one year. Okay, 12 minutes is the total time. We're gonna break it down into pieces. We're going to start in 30 seconds. So just enjoy this last bit of easy. Keep drinking. Remember, when we're indoors, it's especially important with the amount of fluids we lose. I hope you have your fans and your fans on, windows open. 80 cadence now. 80 cadence for me. 20 pedal strokes every 15 seconds. Climbing cadence. 7 out of 10-ish. And we're starting 90 seconds. 2, 1. If you're on my playlist for for Tour de Victoria, we would be out of the warm-up song. Sorry, I didn't refer to that. But by the time we get to song 9, you're into some music that'll help accompany if you need it. There is also another public playlist right below it if you need a bit of a change up from that. Good job, everyone. Already done. 45 seconds. Hold on to this cadence. Nice and strong. Breathing. Using your breath as a bit of a rhythm if you want. If that works for you. You're going to be at 90 seconds. Coming up in 15. First part of this hill, eyes up. I see some looking down. Look where you're going. Going to increase the cadence for 1 minute. Bring it up to your 8 out of 10. 2, 1. Come on. 5 to 10 RPM. Good job, guys. Halfway. Breathe. Strong through the feet. Feeling a little bit bogged down. We're going to stand and get on top of it. All right, so we're holding the gear. 1, up, up. Nicely done, guys. Halfway. Awesome job. A little bit more. Getting to that little bit of aerobic. In 2, 1, 60%. Use your cadence. 90 to 100. Recover, recover. This is a little succession of poppers, poppy hills. We're learning to grab that recovery while we can. Halfway through, 60%. Take this chance to have a little drink. All right, another little popper coming up. Start dropping the cadence. Start bringing some gear up. 80 cadence. Right into it again. 2, 1. Come on. 90 seconds. Learning to go into these in control. You feel on top of the gear. It's a lower climbing cadence. You sometimes have to go with a little lower cadence to find that sweet spot. Sometimes the sweet spot isn't going 2 gears easier. I'll play with that for yourself. Good job. Almost at that first minute done. Come on. Pulling through on the bottom of the pedal stroke. Up and around the back. Hardest part comes up in 15 seconds. 20 pedal strokes every 15 seconds. If you don't have a meter, winding it up now to feel like it's 8 out of 10. 2, 1, 1 minute, guys. Come on. Dig in. Up, up. Really good, guys. Stay with me. We're looking to the top of this pitch. It's a little ways away. We're gonna stand and get on top of it in 10 seconds. All right? Stay with me on this little succession. 2, 1, up, up. Come on, guys. Lively. Charging a little bit. Not just hanging on. 5, 2, 1, 60%. Grab that minute. Preferred cadence. 90 to 100. Relax the shoulders. Breathe. Awesome. Think about this. When you're riding out doing some little short hills, lots of places I can think of. Practice doing this. Get it in your tool bag. And at the Tour de Vic, the whole last way back has a bunch of these, barely even on the profile. Okay, bring the cadence down. 80 cadence, 7 to 8 out of 10. Hard, in control. You're back on a popper. 90 seconds. Come on, guys. Focus on your technique. Focus on the circles. Squeezing all that power out of every 360 degrees. Bring it down. 1 minute to go like this. Get yourself in a little zone. Practice finding a channel that you like. We had a sports psychologist used to talk about changing the channel when you don't like the one you're on. Been getting lots of practice at that lately. Trying to find something to watch on Netflix. You've seen everything. Okay, 20 seconds. Hardest part coming up. I think it's the hardest part. Interesting what different people dread or look forward to. Those people that like 12% climbs, I just don't get them. Okay, increase cadence. Up, up. 8 out of 10. Squeeze it up. Come on, guys. Good posture. There you go, 30 seconds to go here. Everybody's legs hurt. In case you were wondering, let's take a poll. Okay, 15. And you're gonna get that part, I think, is a bit of recovery. Hanging onto the gear. 2, 1, up, up. Come on. Last one. Come on, dynamic. Before our downhill. Still some pressure on the pedals. Come on. Use that cadence. Trying to keep around a 60% number. 30 seconds to go, come on. I told you, this last 10, 15K is windy, lots of drags. You want people around you. This is a place you're gonna just force yourself back with your group. 2, 1, and downhill, back it off, 3 minutes. Good one, everyone. Another thing, even if you're not terribly fond of the concept of standing, the change up is good. Just like, changing your hand position a little bit, changing the channel is a whole different set of changing. But thinking, especially if you're starting to A, get negative, or B, feel like, when I say bogged down, that's a really important thing to pay attention to, because we have 2 more minutes of rest like this. Because if you let yourself get bogged down, and many of you who've done our max aerobic power test, the progression ramp through your gearing, through your wattage, you know there's that point where you can't hold the cadence anymore. That's what bogged down feels like. And we all let that happen, sometimes when we don't need to, and quite often, a little stand on the pedals, giving it a little acceleration, just changing what you're doing can bring you back to where you want to be. A little acceleration, you prefer to roll the pedals up maybe, but sometimes when you're bogged down, it's hard to do that seated, and the standing will help you with that mission. So I said, as we come around in the last bit, make sure you're having a little bit to drink during this part. We have just over a minute before we start. But there's a lot of draggy parts. I'm thinking specifically of coming around the university. There's a couple of sort of 2-ish%. You're starting to get into windy pieces, and there's one definite little pitch that's about 300 meters. It's more like 5. And they'll come at you, you sort of feel, oh, this really doesn't seem like it was on the profile. They probably were, you just didn't notice them. And the thing is, when you're at that long distance into the event, you really feel them in a different way than you would if you're just out for your nice waterfront ride. So we're gonna do a piece right now, 9 minutes long, 90 seconds, all at around 7 to 8 out of 10. Let's stick to 7 and try and bring it up. Starting at 80 cadence, and so we're on a drag, and then changing the cadence. And so you'll be changing the gear to keep at the watts, okay? Or the effort. I'm actually giving you an extra 15 seconds so I can get properly on this right now. But right now, while we're doing that, Find your 80 cadence. 80 to 85. It doesn't have to be as low as 80, but I want to simulate doing this little bit of a drag, little bit of release, little bit of a drag. So here we go, 90 seconds. 80-ish cadence, 7 out of 10, 2, 1, first part. Come on, guys. Lock into this. 70 to 80% is a good range for those of you who are on a little bit of a less intense block or you're tired. Go for the 70, your hour power. If you're feeling you can put a bit more into it, then do so. 80. Good job. Stay with this. We've just come around the university. A little bit of a drag right after it. We're getting close to the top of it. We got another 40 seconds to go. We're going to try to maintain the same power output, but we're changing the cadence. So you're going to back a little bit of gear off, increase the cadence, find yourself at the same power. And this will be the first set of 3 after we've done this. Okay? Decreasing the gear a little bit if you need to. Increasing the cadence to 90. 2, 1, up. 90 cadence. More like 22, 23. Pedal strokes every 15 seconds. Good job. Feels a lot different. Generating the same power. You came out of that early part of the waterfront with your group. Now we just want to focus on making use of these draggy little pitches before we get to the actual final piece. All right, 30 more seconds. Good, try and stay relaxed. Adapt to the new leg speed. Same effort delivered a different way. There's another pitch up, just a couple of degrees. Drop the cadence to 80-ish. Bringing the gear back in a little bit so that you're simulating same effort, but on a drag. 10 seconds in. Good job, guys. Play around with your hand position. $30 seconds done. Almost halfway in this one. Come on. Steady your upper body. Let's see a little bit of wiggling side to side, like this. 60 seconds in. After this, we're coming out of Uplands into Royal Oak area. That's at 15. Come on, guys. At 90 cadence, feels better at this effort level. That's for sure. 5, 2, 1, 90 cadence-ish. Keep it at the same effort, in around. Recover a little bit. before the golf course. Awesome. Halfway. Your breathing is at all feeling like you can? Grab a drink. Try and keep comfortable. Last 30 seconds of this higher leg speed. And you got this. Good to see you there, Jackie. Awesome riding, everybody. All right, I always hate this part. Golfers all look like they're having such an easy time. You come up the drag, they're pushing into the wind. 80 cadence. This is your last 3 minutes of this piece. Bring the gear in. Let's try and make all of this a little closer to your 8 out of 10. Okay? Bring it to that end of the range I've given you. Come on, dig in now. Think you can. Eyes up the road. You hang your head, your body turtles a bit. You fall over your bike. Try and keep it up, positive, driving ahead. Good job, guys. Anywhere in that 80-ish RPM, don't sweat the few little bits. Just simulating being on a drag, pushing a bit of a gear. Nicely done. 1 minute in. Gonna have a gear change in 30 seconds. Come on. Positive. Hold that good channel. We all think negative sometimes. It's a good thing about having everyone here soldiering on by your side. Okay, 2, 190-ish cadence. Same effort. Last minute and a half. Come on, everyone. Positive. That power to your pedals, not letting off at all. Pegged right there. Only a minute like this. Come on, guys. Little suffering here. You've all got it in you. This is onto the flat. $10K out. Come on, guys. 15. Drive it right through. Really good intentional group here. Awesome. Another 5. 1. Let it go. Little break. We'll start out with a full backing off right here. And then I'm going to bring you up just before we get to our point of view effort. So good work, everyone. That actually is very similar to sort of the 40 minutes or so you would come into your final crux point with. Lots of points along that way that really breaking it down to these pieces. Oh, there's another pitchy little hill. Okay, settle in, hang on. I got my little group. Oh, I feel like I'm just falling off a bit. Stand up, boom, boom, over the top. Doing that, and then the same thing when you see those unwelcome 2 to 3% little drags, trying to just push into the pedals, play with a little nuance of cadence, whichever feels better. The change is good, as I said. So just thinking of that. So we're on a flat. I'm going to give a countdown into our point of view, but I will tell you what we're doing first of all. It's only 7 minutes long. And actually, after you come off a flat, make a left-hand turn. It's very steep, but very short. There's a little flat, almost downhill, 20 seconds. And then you do it again, short, hard, punchy. Then we have a 3-minute flat. And we're going to do that at a good rolling pace, thinking that even though on a gentle coffee ride, you could ride along it pretty easily, we're with a bunch of like-minded people who now have 6-ish K to go, 7 maybe, and everyone wants to get to that darn beer tent or breakfast or whatever it is. But point being, you're near the end, there's a lot of fire under people, no matter what speed you're going, and because 9 out of 10 times it's windy, it's a really good idea to try and keep some people around you. So I'm going to give a countdown. We're going to go have a drink, all right? We're going to start this at a preferred cadence of 90 to 100 at your 70% effort. Very quickly, you're going to go into a hard, steep hill. So start finding a bit of gear now. Start finding a bit of gear now, at least you're 50%. Get yourself up there while you're at 90 cadence. We're going in 30 seconds. When we get to the 3 minutes on the flat, there's going to be accelerations. So it's a long piece, but there's accelerations. And then 2 hard drags at the end, which are kind of your final really hard pieces. 10 seconds to go. 10 seconds to go, 5 seconds to go. 90 cadence, 70%. 2, 1, and let's start rolling along the road. Okay, remembering, majority of people know that there's a hard left-hander into a steep pitch. Yes, it's lovely out on the water. Not a lot of time to take it in. Maybe you convince everyone to take a look. And then we're going to make this left-hander. As always, the video makes it look a lot flatter, but you'll see from the condition of the road, we're going into this. Bring your gear up. 80 cadence. Bring your gear up. Come on, I can see you all. Bring your gear up, and we're on the hill. Come on. 85%. Seated at first. Come on, guys. You can see the crest. Stand and get on top of it. Right past that rock. Come on. Up, up. Right around the corner. With your friendly wheels. And down. Back a little gear off if you can. It's really short. You only have about 15 seconds. All right? When you're used to this, you won't have as much trouble cramping when you're in it. Okay? Bring it up again. Up, up. 85%. Come on, guys. Dig in. Right past that pink gate. You'll remember that. Come on. Round the corner. Stay with it. Not letting up until the road goes down. There. And backing it off. Okay. 60%. Recover. Recover. This first part, downhill, Gets pretty fast. Comfortably in your group. You moved yourself up to being in the front couple of wheels. Gives you a nice, comfortable feeling. Seeing where you can go. Good job. Keep your legs turning. At this point, you have tons of lactate built, not far from the finish, but you can still seize badly. All right, you're on that flat. It's still almost 2 minutes like this terrain. You make a left-hand turn after this, coming up into a little area. All right. You had a nice piece there, sitting on the front, as people from the back starting to charge. Let's bring your cadence up, 5 to 10 RPM, up, up. Come on, guys. About a 7 out of 10 right here. Holding a good position, making a left-hand turn up here. Back to 60%. Back to your preferred cadence. Going right past my house almost in a minute. Give or take a block. Okay. Last little bit before we come out on the waterfront and hit that hard wind. You're getting some shelter from the houses right now. About 45 seconds. Another little surge in the group. Up, up. Come on. 10 RPM. Stay on it, guys. I can see you. Turn it over. Hand back off a little bit. 60%. Right here. Watch out for that. Okay? But you go over it, relaxing the arms. Shock absorbers. No big panic. Okay. Out on the waterfront. Wind's coming from the left. Ideally, you're not sitting out right on the left. Cemetery coming up on the right. All right. Bring it up to your 80%. 90 to 100 cadence. Up, up. Come on, guys. Big push now. Pace is high. Everyone can smell the barn. It's windy. It's hard. We're going to hit another draggy uphill. Come on, guys. Starting to pitch up a little bit. Just about a minute left now. It's the windiest right here. Come on. 85%. The group's making a big surge. You're on an incline. Into the wind. All good after this. Come on. Make it round. Push, push, push. Good job, Kathy. I see you driving there. Come on, everyone. Eyes on the road. Right up to that corner. Don't let up. 30 seconds. In about. Don't count time. Go with what you see. Come on, guys. Hold on to it. Flat. Pitching down. Wind's gonna change after that house. Come on. It's for the win in your age group. Around that white car. Around the corner. 5, 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Recover. Recover. Don't ride into the back of the car. Good job. Okay. Turning the pedals nicely, bringing it back. Get some water in. So, one of the things that you learn in riding, for sure, is we talk about crux points. Crux points aren't always the hardest thing on a ride or on a course. I know many times I've been scared because there's a lap circuit course and there's a 10 or 11 percenter in it, which I personally dislike. Some people go, oh yay, but the times I've been dropped the hardest, and one in particular that I remember, riding with men in the wind, and what I found hard was it was a tailwind and we were going so fast that when I came back, I was having a hard time getting onto the back of the group. I just didn't have sort of the power to be going at that speed. So crux points can mean all sorts of different things. I think it's just good to be aware. If you know you're gonna come up to something like that and you're gonna go, okay, it's probably gonna be windy, and I know there's a couple pitches that I'm looking at what I think is a flat road, but I feel like I'm working so hard, what's up with that? So it's good to understand all of those things, because so much of it is what you're ready for, what you're prepared for, and then trying to just deal with it, right, and process it. The more prepared you are, the better, and that's what we're trying to do with this. So thanks a lot for joining me in these 5 sessions. We're going to continue with Saturdays, but for this series, that's a wrap.